Here are the most recent deaths in the national news, as reported at Legacy.com in the second week of July 2025. Legacy.com is where you can find any obituary or publish an obituary in any local community in America and beyond. Football player Louis Sharpe died July 11, 2025, of heart failure at the age of 65. He was an offensive tackle for the St. Louis and Arizona Cardinals in the 1980s and 90s, distinguishing himself as a 3-time Pro Bowl pick. Sharpe is also being remembered for his later work as a counselor at a sobriety clinic after overcoming his own struggles with addiction. Writer and journalist David Gergen died July 10, 2025, in Lexington, Massachusetts. He died of Lewy body dementia at the age of 83. He was an advisor to 4 presidents, Nixon, Ford, Reagan, and Clinton, as well as a journalist for magazines and on such TV news shows as Face the Nation and McNeil-Lehrer NewsHour. He is being remembered for his bipartisan approach to politics, which he continued to advocate throughout his life, urging the parties to work together. Gergen was a U.S. Navy veteran who served for 3 years. World War II veteran Donald Rose died July 11, 2025, at a care home in Ilkeston, Derbyshire, England, at the age of 110. He joined the British Army as a young man and served during World War II in North Africa, Italy, and France. He participated in the D-Day landings, and he was part of the regiment that liberated the Bergen-Belsen concentration camp. Rose is being remembered as Britain's oldest World War II veteran and is believed to have been the UK's oldest man. Musician and songwriter Dave Cousins died July 13, 2025, at a hospice facility in Canterbury, Kent, England. He died after a long illness at the age of 85. He was the lead singer for Strawbs, the folk rock and prog rock band known for songs like their 1973 UK hit, Part of the Union. Cousins is being remembered as the band's primary songwriter, penning beloved tracks like Lay Down and Shine on Silver Sun. Musician and actor David Kaff died July 11, 2025, at the age of 79. He had already been a successful musician as a member of Rare Bird in the 1960s and 70s when he was cast in the cult classic movie This Is Spinal Tap as keyboardist Viv Savage. Kaff is being remembered for delivering some of the movie's most memorable lines, including his character's life philosophy, "Have a good time all the time." Runner Fauja Singh died July 14, 2025, in India. He died of injuries sustained in a car accident at the age of approximately 114. He began running in his 80s while grieving the deaths of his wife and son, and he turned the practice into a record-breaking career as a marathoner. Singh is being remembered as the world's oldest marathon runner, having continued to compete in marathons past the age of 100. Poet Andrea Gibson died July 14, 2025, at their home in Longmont, Colorado. They died of ovarian cancer at the age of 49. Gibson was the current Poet Laureate of Colorado. A recent award-winning documentary titled Come See Me in the Good Light profiled their marriage and terminal cancer diagnosis. Gibson is being remembered for their emotionally charged spoken word poetry on such topics as grief, gender identity, and mortality. Voice actor James Carter Cathcart died July 8, 2025, at a hospital in New York City. He died of throat cancer at the age of 71. He was best known for his voices for the Pokémon anime series and films, including Gary Oak, Meowth, James, and Professor Oak. Cathcart is also being remembered for his voice work for Sonic X, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Yu-Gi-Oh!, and many others. Pastor John MacArthur died July 14, 2025, at a hospital in Santa Clarita, California. He died after contracting pneumonia at the age of 86. He was the pastor of Grace Community Church in Sun Valley, California for more than 50 years, and he became known to a wider faith community with his radio and TV ministry, Grace to You. MacArthur is being remembered for preaching a fundamentalist interpretation of Scripture in his sermons and books. Singer and actress Connie Francis died July 16, 2025, at the age of 87. She was the first woman to have a #1 hit in the U.S. with the 1960 single Everybody's Somebody's Fool. Recently, her 1962 song Pretty Little Baby became a viral hit on TikTok. Francis is also being remembered for her acting career, with starring roles in such movies as Where the Boys Are and Looking for Love. The number of people known to have lost their lives in the tragic Texas floods on July 4th has now grown to 132. Since last week, a memorial wall in the city of Kerrville has drawn people from near and far to share their grief and mourn together. Here at Legacy, we've read dozens of loving tributes written and published online by the families of those who've passed away. Stories of young people who packed so much living into a short amount of years, and who remain forever close in the hearts of their friends and families. Stories of parents and children whose goodness shines through in the details of their lives. And stories of beloved grandparents whose long years were a beautiful map of the human spirit. We wanted to make sure that any of our viewers can donate to help the families and communities devastated by the floods. Visit the link on screen to give your support to local relief efforts. In addition to featuring current deaths in the news, Legacy.com also honors the lives and legacies of notable people who died in the past. Here are some of this week's anniversaries. 1 year ago this week, actress Shannon Doherty died at the age of 53. Her many TV shows and movies included Beverly Hills 90210, Heathers, Charmed, and Little House on the Prairie. 1 year ago this week, on the same day as Doherty, fitness guru Richard Simmons died at the age of 76. He helped generations of people lose weight with videos like his Sweatin' to the Oldies series. 1 year ago this week, just days after the previous 2 deaths, comedian and actor Bob Newhart died at the age of 94. His deadpan delivery was hilarious in his stand-up act and in TV shows like The Bob Newhart Show and Newhart. 5 years ago this week, actress Kelly Preston died at the age of 57. She starred in such movies as Jerry Maguire, Twins, and Sky High, and she was the longtime wife of actor John Travolta. Actress and singer Diane Carroll was born 90 years ago this week. She died in October 2019 at the age of 84. She starred on TV in Julia and Dynasty, and she was Oscar nominated for her performance in the movie Claudine. Every week in the United States, flags are lowered to half-staff to honor the lives of Americans whose communities are mourning their loss. Here are the most recent half-staff memorial flag honors. Flags in Michigan have been lowered to honor the memory of former state lawmaker Virgil C. Smith. Flags in Wisconsin have been lowered to honor the memory of Wisconsin State Patrol Bureau Director David Pabst and his wife Teresa Terry Pabst. At Legacy.com, any family can publish an obituary in honor of a loved one's memory, online and in local newspapers everywhere. Just visit Legacy.com and select your local community. Follow Legacy.com on Instagram and Facebook, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube to stay up to date on national news deaths.